Imagine this. I touched down at Kuala Lumpur International Airport on a balmy October evening in 2025. My suitcase stuffed with instant noodles and canned tuna, convinced I'm heading into a budget backpacker's bargain bin of a country. Back in chilly Toronto, I'd binge-watched clips of rural villages and rubber plantations, stats flashing poverty rates and shaky economies across my screen. Malaysia, squeezed between giants like Indonesia and Thailand, forever the underdog scraping by on palm oil and cheap labor. I pictured dusty streets choked with smoke-belching scooters, markets hawking knockoff watches, and a vibe of just getting by that would test my thrift skills to the max. Wallet zipped tight, I scanned for the inevitable hustle. But as I emerge into the arrivals lounge, a sleek monorail whooshes overhead. Digital screens beam flight deals to Europe, and a multicultural mob chats in English, Malay, Mandarin, and Tamil, all seamless, no barriers. Vendors sling fresh coconut shakes for pocket change, their grins wider than the Petronas towers I spot twinkling in the distance. In a heartbeat, my pity party pops. I thought Malaysia was poor. The reality shocked me with its slick fusion of ancient jungles and cutting-edge skylines. A nation that's not just keeping up, it's lapping the competition. Stick around as we zip from neon-drenched streets to emerald rainforests, because the bombshell at the end reveals how this modest powerhouse is secretly plotting to eclipse Singapore as Southeast Asia's tech kingpin, and you'll be itching to swap your snow for their sunsets. Flash back to my pre-flight panic. Scrolling Reddit threads and news bites, Malaysia screamed, "Developing darling with dents." GDP growth pegged at a steady 4.4% for the first half of 2025, unemployment dipping to a envy-worthy 3%, lower than Canada's. Yet headlines harped on inequality and rural lags. Poverty? Around 5.6%, sure. But I fixated on the gaps, imagining shacks dwarfed by luxury condos. Friends texted warnings. Beware the heat, the hawkers, the hidden fees. So I geared up guerrilla style, offline maps, bargain sim, a stash of loonies converted to ringgit at abysmal rates. Little did I know, this federation of 13 states and 3 territories, home to 34 million souls, boasts a $450 billion economy, 32nd largest globally. Fueled by semiconductors, they make chips for your iPhone, palm oil empires, and a tourism tidal wave, crashing 28 million visitors in just 8 months of 2025. That's more arrivals than Thailand's pace, injecting over $10 billion already, with targets eyeing 31 million by year's end. Remittances? A trickle compared to neighbors, but domestic hustle. Think young coders in Cyberjaya and engineers in Penang, powers a middle class that's ballooning, with over 60% now urban and upwardly mobile. Myths met their match at the airport. Reality revved up fast. Kuala Lumpur hits like a fever dream of progress. The grab ride from KLIA, our Uber, but with chatty aunties dishing durian tips, dips into the Golden Triangle, where glass spires pierce the humid haze like futuristic lances. I expected honking hell. Instead, it's orchestrated anarchy. Electric buses glide past hawker carts sizzling sati, mosques, minarets, kissing Hindu temples under the same sky. Check-in at a Bukit Bintang high-rise? A steal at $40 a night, with skyline views from a jacuzzi tub. No flea-bitten guesthouse gloom. That dusk, I prowl Jalan Alor, the street food supernova where Chinese uncles flip char kway teow in woks hotter than Hades, Indian aunties ladle spicy roti canai, and Malay stalls steam with nasi lemak, coconut rice wrapped in pandan leaves, punched up with sambal that sings fire. One bite and I'm hooked. Cost? Under $3 for a feast that'd bankrupt Toronto takeout. Chatting with a vendor named Auntie Lim, her stall a rainbow of neon signs, thought we'd be invisible to tourists. Now, with 9% arrivals surge this year, we're stars. My son's studying AI downtown. KL's Pulse, electric. The Petronas Towers, those iconic twins piercing on 483 feet, aren't just postcard props. They're the world's tallest twin structures, bridged at 58 stories with a skywalk that dizzies you with city sprawl below. I ascend at twilight, the city morphing from concrete jungle to jeweled galaxy, while below, 70% of Malaysians under 40 thrive in a tech scene churning out apps for global giants. Poverty pockets exist, like in Chow Kit's back alleys, but so do initiatives, government cash transfers lifting millions, women's co-ops turning batik into boutique brands. Shocked? This poor capital hosted the 1998 Commonwealth Games as Asia's first, and now it's a fintech hub rivaling Dubai. A quick bullet train, yes, high-speed rails linking peninsula-like veins, whisks me to Penang, the Pearl of the Orient, where colonial charm crashes into culinary chaos. Georgetown's shophouses, UNESCO darlings painted in candy hues, line streets where trishaws pedal past murals of cats in kabaya. I wander clan jetties, stilt villages where Chinese clans have fished these waters for 200 years. Their wooden walkways creaking tales of migration. Lunch. Gurney Drive's hawkers assault senses. Assam laksa, tangy noodles in fish gravy, or kendol, green jelly swirled with coconut milk and palm sugar. Dessert that dances on your tongue. A local foodie, Raj, joins my table. Malaysia's diversity, our superpower. Malay, Chinese, Indian, Orang Asli. We blend, not battle. He's right. This multicultural mosaic, with Malays at 60%, Chinese 23%, Indians 7%, brews harmony in every meal. But the real jaw drop, Penang's Electronics Valley, cranking out half the world's LED lights, employs thousands in air-conditioned factories paying $1,500 monthly, more than many Western entry gigs. No sweatshop stigma. It's skilled, sustainable, with solar panels shading production lines. As monsoon clouds threaten, I duck into a kopitiam for teh tarik, the pulled tea frothed like magic, pondering how this island, once a British penal outpost, now exports innovation worth billions. Poverty here? Rural edges feel it, but urban Penang's 95% literacy rate and free clinics keep the tide turning. Deeper dive calls for Borneo, the wild heart-splitting Malaysia and Indonesia. A prop plane bounces into Kota Kinabalu, Sabah's gateway, where South China Sea breezes carry salt and spice. My homestay in a longhouse, not a thatched hut, but a modern longhouse with Wi-Fi and ensuite baths, hosted by Dusun families who greet with tuak, rice wine fermented from sticky rice. We trek Kinabalu Park, UNESCO listed for its biodiversity. 3,000 orchid species, Rafflesia blooms the size of dinner plates, the world's largest flower stinking like rotting meat to lure flies. At 13,135 feet, Mount Kinabalu looms, granite giant I've summited at dawn, lungs burning, reward a sea of clouds parting to reveal endless green. Guides share shocks. Borneo's oldest rainforest, 130 million years young. Dinosaurs roamed here. Even wilder, Sepalok Orangutan Sanctuary, where rehabbed red apes swing free, mothers teaching babies to forage while tourists gawk from boardwalks. One ranger whispers, We rescued 4,000 since 1964. Now, ecotourism funds patrols against poachers. Sabah's economy? Palm oil plantations stretch horizons, but sustainable shifts, certified groves, carbon credits, net $20 billion yearly, employing locals with fair wages. Snorkeling Sipadan later, walls of coral drop 2,000 feet. Hammerheads schooling like silver arrows, diving Mecca ranked world-class, drawing pros for $100 a day. Back on shore, fresh ikan bakar, grilled fish slathered in sambal, seals the deal. Malaysia's east, no backwater. Its biodiversity bank, with 15% of global bird species, fueling a green economy that's anything but poor. Islands beckon last. Langkawi, the duty-free archipelago of 99 isles fringed by limestone karsts. Cable car up Gunung Mat Chengkang, Asia's steepest, offers eagle-eye views of Andaman Sea, eagles soaring as eagles do, hence the name Island of the Eagle. Beaches? Pantai Chenang's sands glow powdery white, lined with resorts blending into mangroves. Kayaking mangroves at dusk, fireflies pulse like living lanterns. A bioluminescent ballet. Dinner? Sky Bridge, suspended 700 meters up, serves fusion fare. Wagyu rendang, beef slow-cooked in coconut gravy. A British expat at the bar. Came for cheap beer, stayed for the boom. Malaysia's FDI hit $15 billion this year. Tech parks popping like palm fruits. Indeed, Langkawi's airport hums with private jets. Tourism spiking 14% in 2025, while the mainland's Iskandar, Malaysia mega-region rivals Shenzhen in scale. As my flight climbs from Subang, the peninsula's patchwork, emerald estates, sapphire straits, urban glow, fades to memory. Shocks layered thick, English fluency everywhere, official biz lingo, hospitality that feeds strangers like family. A constitution blending monarchy with democracy since 1957. Food? 5,000 hawker stalls in KL alone. UNESCO intangible heritage. Challenges linger. Traffic snarls. Ethnic tensions simmer. Climate bites with floods. But resilience rules. Digital IDs for all. 5G blanketing cities. Women helming 20% of firms. The twist? Malaysia's eyeing high-income status by 2028. Semiconductors surging 20% output. Tourism revenue chasing $28 billion. It's not poor. It's poised. A constitutional kingdom where you can rainforest hike by noon, beach lounge by tea, and code apps by cocktail hour. Ditch the dated docs. Malaysia's reality is riveting. Your turn. Pack light, dive deep. The eagle's calling.